Today we're going to be unboxing and telling you our first thoughts of the Hatching Time chicken brooder. We just got it in the mail behind us and we're really excited to show you us setting it up. We're going to time it so that we know exactly how long it takes, and we'll tell you all the aspects that come along with it. And then in a couple weeks, hopefully we can tell you how it is once we throw some of our quails in there that we're getting soon. I'm Danielle and this is Chris. And welcome to the Slaughterhouse Farm, where we bring you new content every week on how we're building our homestead so that you guys can build your own and live a more self-sustainable lifestyle. Let's get to the unboxing, shall we?
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
First up, you can see these are all of the pieces that we have all laid out. The dogs are currently inspecting. They also give you a nice instruction guide that is nicely color-coded. Kind of reminds me of the IKEA guides because there's no words. So we shall see how this goes. They give you a thank you for purchasing letter, product support information, and you get a free gift card if you write a $10. You get a free $10 gift card if you write a review. It looks like this is just a written out information about it, how to put it together, how to actually brood your chickens, some advice on that, some information on the heating sources, some warnings, and then how to clean and information on the warranty. So let's get assembling. I'm gonna go ahead and start our timer so we can see how long this actually takes. And start. We're a little over 7 minutes, almost at 8 minutes. I'd say we're probably 75% done, and we probably got through it a lot faster because we did set up their quail cages last year, and I'll link that video down below. And that's actually one of the reasons why we got this cage, because we loved that one so much, and we figured, hey, if we can make our lives easier and help automate things and make things easier to clean and set up, then why not? So that's why we're really excited about testing this out. And one hack from putting this together is we have one of these mallets, and it is a game changer when you're putting it together. Make sure that you have some nice softer ends on the two sides, so when you are pounding it together so everything goes together, it doesn't ruin any of the plastic setup. Any other tips?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
Very
so
simple.
We'll keep going and we'll keep you posted on our time.
How's it going, Daniel?
Okay. We have some aspects of this cage that we're not too happy with, so we're definitely going to go over the pros and cons of this at the end. Whoa!
So now that we have it together, we're just going to go over a few quick pros and cons, and we'll start with the pros, why this product is pretty cool and is possibly worth you purchasing it. For first off, right off the bat, it looks nice, that's for sure. It's a pretty design here. They kind of knew what they were doing with the design, And if you are not trying to build your own, then this is a perfect right out of the box solution for you.
Yeah, so to take off of what you said, I think as our second product from Hatching Time, our first one was the quail cage, and we really loved that. It's made such a difference in the way that we raise quail, and it's just made it really easy to automate things. So I kind of thought it would be very similar with this cage. I think the water automation is pretty nice because you can kind of set it up at the top and not really worry about going inside the cage, whereas the brooder that we built, you kind of have to go in there and change the water on a more regular basis. And the same with the food. You're filling it from the outside and you don't have to worry about putting your hands in as much. You don't have to worry about quail or chickens escaping, which
happens a lot.
Does happen. And yeah, I mean, we haven't really tried it out with any of our quail or chicks yet, but we're going to test it out with our new litter and kind of see what it looks like as compared to our own built brooder. So we'll definitely keep you posted on that. But overall looks, it does look pretty cool. It's nice and colorful. I think it's really easy for people with families or that don't have that much time to build their own brooder because it's right here set up for you and there's nice automations. But we did find a lot of flaws in the build thus far, and there are a few cons that we think are really good to know about this brooder.
Yeah, that is well put. A few of the things that we ran into at first are the cage opening and closing is really pretty difficult. I guess that could be good if you have a kid. The kid's definitely not going to be able to open that up. Or maybe that's just the version we got.
Yeah, it definitely gets a little bit stuck and it's hard to do. And especially if you're trying to like put in a bird from holding it, it might be a little hard to get that in. And we like to hold our birds a little bit so that you can kind of train them to be people friendly.
Another thing, both a pro and a con, is the water for this. As Danielle mentioned, our other Hatching Time cage, we really love everything about it. It's fantastic. They try to go the same route here, but you can see the waterer. There's no way to position this thing that it's not hanging over the edge. Just the spout is just a little too short for it to actually be in there. Also, it would be better if there was some kind of like area to be holding the water, because you can easily knock this around. So if you do have a kid or something and they're a little clumsy, they could knock this over. And third, for the top, is there's holes in it, which it's a life of me can't figure out why. But all I know is if we put this out in the barn, it will have dust and stuff getting into the water.
This company is actually develops everything in Delaware in the United States. And so living in the US, we do everything in Fahrenheit. And it's very interesting because the temperature gauge is in Celsius, which is just like an added on hard factor. It'd be really nice if everything was in Fahrenheit because it's just very confusing. And then also what I found interesting about the light system is you do have to have the light on when you do have the temperature gauge on. So you can't have the temperature on and the light off, which we like to make sure that we're regulating our chicks. And at night we turn off the lights, especially like if the chicks are in a main room that you might see them in, you don't want that light on all the time. So unless you take the bulb out every night, you would have the light on all nights.
Multiple items came to us actually broken.
Yeah, there were a few broken pieces, but I know I've dealt with their customer service in the past and they've been really great. So I'm not too worried about that. I think just they're probably in higher demand, and all of the pieces are definitely 3D printed with plastics or like plastic printed. So I could see that there is always going to be like some things that are disoriented. The setup you definitely are going to need some strong fingers for, because putting together some of the pieces are a little hard. I know my fingers can't always do that, so luckily we have Chris's hands. The next step here is going to be, would we suggest you guys actually buying it? And what do you think?
I think we need to put some quail in there and make sure that everything works properly. But I think it'd be a cool thing for like a classroom. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to spend the time actually building something, also a great solution. But and if you're gonna have it laying around in your house, this is way prettier than the one I built.
Yeah, so we're definitely excited to check this out, compare it, kind of see how everything goes. So stay tuned once we actually throw in some chicks inside here. And we're also going to do a deep down comparison to the brooder that we built versus this brooder. We're going to break down the costs, the whole build, and the overall pros and cons. So definitely stay tuned. But for now, that's it for us. Bye.